Okay, so let's talk about Pearl and that ending. This is going to be filled with spoilers, so if you don't want spoilers but want to know more about the movie and my thoughts on it, definitely check out our spoiler-free review we have up. But this is going to talk about the ending, but of course we're talking about the whole movie. So yes, I will talk from the beginning of the movie to the end. That way there's no confusion about how we got to that ending. I know a lot of people get mad at that, but I don't know why. There will be a timestamp if you want to skip to it. But if you don't want me to talk about the movie, then this is not the video for you, because I'm just going to talk about it. Get all that out of the way, no more confusions. So no comments down below about why you just talking about the whole movie, because that's how we get to the ending. Enough rant, let's talk about Pearl, the ending, and what it all means. So before we get further into it, subscribe, notification bell on, let's get to 25k. But Pearl pretty much is a prequel to X. If you have not watched X pretty much dealt with a group of people who went out to go film a corn movie and pretty much were ravaged by a old murderous woman named Pearl. This is her prequel, this is her story, how she came to be. Notable thing about X is that Mia Goth actually played both Maxine and Pearl, the old woman and one of the young women that gets ravaged by this old woman. So that was something incredible to note there. So that is the reason that Mia Goth is now back playing a younger Pearl, and let's get into it. So this movie takes place in 1918, which is 61 years prior to X, which takes place in 1979. So we see a younger Pearl who's still not all the way demented, but there's something still wrong with her as she kills animals, feeds them to alligators or crocodiles. Somebody's gonna try and correct me in the comments, so whatever. They pretty much are out here just like trying to live their life. They're still trying to reel from their husband going out to the war, trying to take care of their sick father, and having a very, very controlling mother who doesn't want them to go out and live their dreams in their eyes. The mom is pretty much somebody who's like, you know what, this is the life we have, let's make the best of it. Let's not try and go out there and try to take risk or anything like that. Pearl, on the other hand, wants to take that risk. She wants to be a dancer. She wants to travel the world. She wants to go to Europe. She wants to be a star. And Pearl is going to do whatever it takes to do that. So one day Pearl goes out to buy some medicine for her father. She likes to go to the picture show after this and watch a picture, a dancing picture. And one day she meets a projectionist who works there, who's pretty much like, anytime you want to come in here, watch a movie, anything at all, just let me know. It's on the house. She's kind of a little hesitant because, as she says, she's married and she's not wanting to really have any trouble with that. On her ride back home, she encounters a scarecrow who she has a little dance number with and gets down with as well. You know what I'm talking about if you watched X, about getting down. Yeah, that happens here, and she imagines that scarecrow being the projectionist, so she's a little confused about what's going on, right? We then see her sister-in-law and mother-in-law pay them a visit. They bring a pig for her and her mother and her father. The mother is like, I don't need no handouts. I'm perfectly fine. And then while the mother-in-law and Pearl's mother are going at it because of this, we see the sister-in-law tell Pearl, there's a dance competition. You should join. Whoever gets picked gets to go on a state tour around Texas, dancing, all of this, yada yada. And pretty much we see Pearl's lights, like light bulb. It's like, this is my chance. I can get out of this town. I can be the person I want to be the star I need to be. And she's just like, I'm gonna do this. So we see Pearl sort of start to obsess over this as well. She then goes to see the projectionist again, who tells her that she can be a star and she shouldn't let her family pretty much hold her down, and she has a life to live as well and she should just give it a shot. And she's pretty much like, you're right. So this tender moment, then out of nowhere we see the guy pull up a corn video. Yeah, the guy pretty much just brings up this corn video out of nowhere, and it's just like, okay. So Pearl goes back home and her mother finds out about what's going on, and she's just like, you're not going to do this. You're going to live the life that you're meant to live, and that's that, because I didn't get to live my life. I have a husband who's sick who I have to tend for. Do you think that's what I wanted? And this incites a huge argument between the two, and one of the most raw, epic confrontations honestly all year. Like, Mia Goth and her mother just going at it was insane. I really do think both of these actresses deserve some recognition for it, because it just felt real. Eventually her mother is fighting with Pearl, and they're getting like physical as well, and then accidentally she starts to burn alive, and then she just dies right then and there. The father, in shock, just cannot say a word because he is immobile and he cannot talk either, so you just see the expression on his face. Pearl runs away to the projectionist. They sleep together, and then the next morning he brings her home. She's trying to tidy up the place, so he has no clue about what just happened because there is a dead mother there and a father in complete shock. And she's showing him all around. She had mentioned that a dog was making noise that they have, but in fact it was her mother, who I think was still kind of alive. And then we pretty much get her caught in the lie when the guy asks, so what was your dog's name? And she's like, we don't have a dog. That's his cue to be like, this girl is crazy, something's wrong, I gotta get out of here. This pretty much pisses her off because she's like, did I do something wrong? Why are you doing this? Why are you cold now? And as he's trying to leave in his car, pitchfork straight through the chest, and he's just dead. And Pearl's relentless behavior just gets even crazier as she goes to her audition. But before she does, she murders her father because she's going to leave. She's going to be a star. She's going to ace this audition. She's going to be that dancer going all around the state of Texas and eventually Europe and the world. So who's going to take care of her father? Nobody. So she says, goodbye, Daddy. Hope you look down upon me from above as you see your girl become a star. She kills the father, goes to do this audition. Her sister-in-law's there. They're both nervous, but Pearl's determined to get this role. And she goes out. She does her dance. And the dance number was just incredible. Honestly, great camera work, choreography, cinematography, and every other dancer involved. Just beautiful dancing up in the screen. And Pearl's denied. They say they don't want her. They want a blonde, all-American girl, which is her sister-in-law, by the way. And she is hysterical after this. The sister-in-law takes her back home, and that's when Pearl just snaps, and she's pretty much just saying, all right, I need to get a lot of things off my chest for Howard. Sister-in-law is like, all right, just pretend I'm Howard. Let me know. She tells Howard how much she hates him. She's pretty pissed that he left for the war, left her in that farm to tend for her sick father and mother, who was overbearing, and she was just stuck there the whole time. Then says that she is happy that their baby that she was carrying isn't coming anymore, and that pretty much was a whole thing about her, that she was sort of feeling like this baby was just there and she didn't have any love for it. That she then starts to really ramble on about the murder she just committed to her mother, her father, as well as the projectionist. And this sort of has the sister-in-law like, yeah, you know what, I gotta go, so I'm out. Right before she's leaving, Pearl congratulates her on the part. The girl's like, I didn't get the part, but Pearl's like, I know you got the part because that's what the audition people told me. And the girl's like, okay, you got me, thank you, but I'm out, goodbye. Pearl lets her leave, but as she's leaving, Pearl follows with an axe, and the girl starts running. Before she can even escape, Pearl just whacks her dead, and then Pearl's gonna like cut her up into pieces, feed her to the crocodile. I think she even cooks her or makes some porridge out of her, and then she gets the pig that was given to them that's all infested with maggots and rotting, puts its centerpiece in the table with her dead father sitting on one side, her dead mother on the other, and supper is ready. And that just gave me all of the vibes of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which is just a beautiful way. Chef's kiss on that one from Ti West, the way they set this scene up. And then we see that Howard is returning from the war. Pearl's husband, who has been missing this whole time, who I feel was kind of the ignition point for her insanity, is now returning. He walks into the door. He's happy, and he's just like, what is going on here? Once he sees the dead father, the dead mother, as well as the rotten pig there, and then Pearl's just there with a pitcher of lemonade, limeade, maybe. And she's just like, Howard, you're home. We're going to make this work. This is our home. And you got to do and you got to make best with what you got, and that's pretty much how our movie ends. So I think that this movie did a wonderful job in showing Pearl's slip into insanity and how fast that was. It sort of gives you the vibes of movies where you see this character who is just teetering on the line, and that's where Pearl is when we first meet her, but then sort of like things start to just happen very quickly. And I think in this case it was the overbearing mother who was very much so like angry at the world as well, and took it out on her own child, and sort of was jealous as well that Pearl could actually have something that could get her out of this farm. So that's kind of what made Pearl as well snap, is this mother who kept putting pressure and pressure and pressure until she ultimately just snapped back at her. And of course it was an accidental kill right there, because I don't think Pearl intended to kill the mother. It just happened. And I think Pearl seeing the mother burn alive and be gone sort of made her feel like this was a weight off of her shoulders. And the more she thought about it, I think that's what made it be an easier way for her to be able to kill her father, who it seems she loved more. I think in terms of the projectionist being killed, it was more along the lines of this guy. I thought he was like supporting me, and it seems now that he's not going to help me anymore. He was my gateway to get out of this, taking me to Europe and all of that. And I think when she saw that door closed, she pretty much felt like he was just in her way now. At this point, he was suspicious of her as well, so it was just like, you gotta go. Of course, the sister-in-law that gets killed is because she got the part that Pearl wanted so much. So it was sort of like she stole the key out of here from her. And I think that's the whole thing that makes it funnier when we watch X, when we hear Pearl as an old woman say she hates blondes, is because blonde was chosen over her. So I think that was great right there. And I think at the end, of course, Howard's going to stay with Pearl. I think he's going to take her as she is. And they've talked about it, that Howard was sort of somebody who was very in love with Pearl, choosing Pearl over being with his family, who of course was wealthy because of this. And I think that the final scene with her just smiling at the camera, not blinking, just big old smile on her face, is just showing just how much of a fakeness this is. She is really dying inside, because this is not the life she wanted at all. She wanted to be out on that stage, wanted to travel the world, wanted to be this star, but now she's stuck to this farm life that is so mundane and boring for her. But she's just gonna put on an act because her mother's words echo throughout, that you just have to make best with what you got. And I think that's such a great way to put it. Her eyes are big and not blinking. Her mouth is just a big smile, and tears are streaming down as she's smiling, because deep down she is hurting, even though she puts on this mask that is just like, you know what, I'm gonna be happy no matter what. So very good movie indeed, really enjoyed it. Definitely we'll talk more about it if y'all want. Let me know in the comments below what you think. And as always, make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell on. We'll be talking more about Maxine, as well as the audition we're going to be doing for Maxine. Y'all going to see what it's going to be about. But anyways, as always, really enjoy you coming to the video. I will do more videos for y'all. Like I said before, we do have an interview dropping tomorrow with a director who will be having one of their films at Fantastic Fest. So stay tuned for that. It should be fun. We do have Atlanta season, final season actually, premiering tonight. So we'll do a video on that tonight as well, recapping and talk about the ending, just as we did with the previous season. So all my Atlanta peeps, if you're here, let's go. Anyways, as always, I'll see all of you next time. That's going to do it for me. Check out our videos on the left. Check out our ending explained for Barbarian and all the other horror movies that have come out. Good night, mommy, tomorrow, and so much more. As always, stay safe, stay positive.